Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the first Betrayal campaign. I'm your DM, Carlos A.S. Lysing, and we'll be playing in the World of Greyhawk this evening. I'd like to go around the horn as usual with the beginning of our session here, and I'll start introducing our player characters. Over here in the top right-hand corner on your Twitch, or left-hand corner on your Twitch screen, that's Arion, David Aho. David, how you doing, buddy?
Not too
Down there,
bad.
right below him, we're going to see Patrick James Hope, otherwise known as Agrias, the Tenebrous Hand. And over here on our top right, we're going to have Rainmar the Wild Light, aka Jeremy Brazil. And finally, on the bottom, the inimitable Brixton Beholder's Bane, otherwise known as Matthew Lisinski. Gentlemen, it's great to see you again. It's great to have the whole posse back together. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Everybody
Pretty
feeling
good.
it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, good, man. So, some quick things before we go. As usual, everybody probably knows right now that right now as we speak, uh, Cobalt Con is running. Cobalt Con is a huge event. So I would be a little bit. I'm not. Wouldn't be surprised tonight if we're a little bit sparse as far as viewership. That's okay. We're still going to have a good time anyway. Um, for those of you who are assembled in this room, every single one of you, I mailed out a package to today. David, Jeremy, Matthew, Patrick. All you guys got some stuff today. So I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
As did, if you were out there somewhere in the ether, Tim Decker, you got a package as well. So everybody got some stuff. I'm really excited about that.
Tim?
What's that, buddy?
Tim? That guy?
That guy, I know, but he pays money, so I got to give him something.
Come on, Tim.
Some other things on Performa here.
Just because Rainmar has to pay more.
Rainmar is Raymar actually got a special bonus in his package today because, as some of you guys know, I do a lot of other things besides D&D stuff. Last 2 years ago at GaryCon, or was it last GaryCon, I did Operation Overlord, which was a top secret game. And Raymar wanted a copy of that, and so he was able to get that. I don't sell those things publicly. I don't have a license for them. So, but I did have a copy that I made as a mock-up. The module that we were going to run this year, which was Operation Phantom, or Exorcist, excuse me, is still in the works. We plan on running that at next GaryCon. So, don't worry about it if you guys didn't get a chance to see it. You guys will get a chance to see it. I think that's about everything I wanted to cover today. We started late last time. Without further ado, I think we'll leap right into this as soon as I reformat David's screen, because David Aho right now is all eyes and head. So
I have a complaint before we begin.
Okay, go ahead. What's your
I
complaint?
need to file my complaints. So I'm going through the Patreon rewards this month.
Okay.
And dude, Mazzy is maybe my favorite character in months.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, wow. And Arverine's Razor.
I am a big fan of
that
Mazzy's.
was fire.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked it, man. The very first warrior type character I ever played as a player was a character who had a defender. So I've been obsessed with that sword since. I really like the sword of defense a lot. I've never really been able to use one because they're kind of powerful, but because Mazzy is a paragon character of the of her type, it made perfect sense. I was able to finally scratch my own personal itch as far as the defender goes. But I'm really glad you liked it. I remember when I was ordering the art. It's funny you should talk about Mazzy, because I think a lot of people don't get a chance to see what happens behind the scenes here at Casl Entertainment headquarters. My artists were really late, all of them this month, and my artist that does the magic items, spells, and monsters, Mike Lowe, was particularly. He's had a bunch of other commissions come up, so he was really running behind it. So Chet came out with the art first, and he did Mazzy's art. and I loved Mazzy's art. I think Mazzy's art is really, really strong. And I told him, I said, whatever you're doing right now, Mike, hold the presses. I said, you've got to make this sword the sword of the month. So I sent him a
Right.
picture of that. And he's like, fortunately, I have not managed to get to that one yet. So that it was like all put together at the last moment how Mazzy's sword came together, the artwork for it. But I wanted there to be a consistent look for it. And that's fortunately how it worked out really well. Furthermore, Arvorine's razor is an item that has been hanging around in my campaign since I want to say about 1986. I've actually had that particular magic item I created back then because I've always loved that god. For some reason, Arvorine never gets mentioned as far as halflings go because he's a martial god and people think of
He's
halflings as cutesy or they want
yeah,
to play the halfling thief trope. But I've always been interested in the halfling gods that don't play that kind of
for sure.
don't play into the trope. And Arvorine is one of those. I was like, wow, man, that I love this god. I love the fact that the way that he works isn't really offensive. He's all defense, and
Mhm.
so it was just a really good opportunity for me to finally exercise a few different things that I'd wanted to get out of the game for a long time.
The
So
the timing for that razor and for that character is really interesting because when we were getting ready for GaryCon, I was talking to Patrick about what gods I wanted to include in like a pickup game at GaryCon.
and you picked
Yeah.
Arvorine?
Yes, and that was one of the ones that came up. He said, "Oh, that one sounds cool," and I said, "Well, I've never even heard of
Yeah, he
that."
gets no love from
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
of
So,
of anybody that gets any love. Believe it or not, it's mostly Forgotten Realms people. And I'm seeing some people out here. Hey, Kaylin, it's good to see you, man. Thanks so much for the kind words and for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching for us tonight. That's awesome. Um, yeah, Arvorine is one of those guys that doesn't get a lot of love. And you know what? I do. There was an addition to the Halfling Pantheon, which is Yandala's children, as they
yeah,
call it, in 3.5. And I don't give 3.5 a ton of love. They did a lot of things in it that I do and don't like. I have mixed feelings on it. But one thing I really did love is in Races of the Wild. And I know you know what I'm going to say right now, Jeremy.
for sure.
Dalathon, the idea of Dalathon being a shadow
It's
entity
genius.
to Yandala herself
It's genius.
is
Yeah.
friggin' fantastic. Because even though I love Yandala, I'm not gonna lie, she's a little bit bland. I think as far as gods
Yeah.
go, they really didn't do a whole lot of cool stuff with her. Although they did do a cool background story for her
The
in
creation myth is cool.
yeah, in three
But
five, where she's hiding up in the trees and stuff and stealing all the abilities.
yep.
Yes, that's another 3.5 innovation that they did with her that I thought was just revelatory. I thought.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm glad that you really liked her. Did you like passing the copper and everything else and all the other stuff from the Patreon?
They're all good. Actually, this
Yeah.
month was one of the stronger recent months, I think.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Passing the copper. My favorite part of that is I wanted to. I was doing some implication stuff with that. The character that the colorless mage of Perrinland is casting that spell with is I said to Mike, I said, I want you to draw a were cheetah in human form. Don't don't give up the game on it. Just go ahead and draw what you think is right. And I really liked what he came up with. It wasn't at all what I had envisioned in my head. And I love the fact that it wasn't what I envisioned in my head. It gave me a whole kind of a new idea of how I wanted to make that work in my game.
Okay.
And of course, the Were Cheetah notion, I'm doing it because of the charity game that we're going to be having in September. For
For
those of you
sure.
who are
100.
watching and don't understand, I'm going to be running a charity game over the course of a week. 7 games, 4 players in each game, some VIPs in there, people from the legends of the gaming community that I interview in Castle Talk and stuff like that. We're going to be running a module called Tears That Forever Stain. Tears That Forever Stain is a module that I partnered with my personal passion um, as Carlos, besides playing hockey, is I love the animals, the cheetah. I think that it's always been my favorite animal. I've been obsessed with speed since I was a little kid, and I just I fell in love with the animal. I've partnered officially with Cheer Conservation Fund. We're doing cross promotion and stuff like that. I'm allowed to use their logo, the whole 9 yards. All sales of the module Tears That Forever Stain are going to Cheetah Conservation Fund. All the profits we make from it. Basically, once I cover my costs of publication on it, everything else goes to them. This is a big deal because I've decided to go full on with Tears That Forever Stain. There's going to be a professional cartographer rather than myself working it. I'm doing interior art for it. I just commissioned Dan Govar, who does the Castle Entertainment covers. He's going to do interior black and white art on it, and he showed me some examples of what his black and white stuff looks like, and I was blown away.
He's super talented guy.
Oh my God, he is.
Patrick, you actually know who he is, even if you don't recognize the name. You know the art for sure.
Yeah, and Dan is he's a fine gentleman, and I love working with him. I've known him actually since my days. I met Dan actually through the comic art collecting hobby. I met him officially at Heroes Con in the hotel lobby. Him and I just started talking, and it's funny how from tiny acorns mighty oaks do grow, because now he's probably I would say he's probably my best cover artist. He's kind of designed a lot of the look and the feel for what I do for Castle Entertainment. He's just a great dude all the way around. He's great to work with, and he always over delivers. I just know that you guys are going to love this art. I'm trying to find a way to make the money work to get more art inside of it. For example, I've got all kinds of cover art inside, but what I'm trying to do is I'm also trying to spring for. Has anybody here ever read Return to the Tomb of Horrors?
No.
Anybody ever seen that module, the box set?
Yeah.
Return to the Tomb of Horrors is a box set done by TSR, right? It's pretty cool in that one of the things I really loved about the look of it is in the beginning of the module, they have this thing where they have all these different characters sitting around a table in art form. And I know I just whipped by it. I'm going to try and get a little bit better of a look. Here's a better look. They have all these characters in here that they've got that are doing different things in it, right? But for the entire rest of the module, these characters are the art that they use. They consistently follow them through the module as if they were doing the adventure. Like when somebody dies, they show their death in there. So you can almost see how it was play tested in a sense. It's a really cool thing. That's
a cool concept.
Well, what I want to do is I told Dan that all the characters that are drawn in here, I want them to be the same characters, just like this. So it kind of follows them along. But what I really want more than anything is I wanted to put their pictures on the character sheets as well, so that people it ties the whole concept together. The problem is the character art adds up fast, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make the cash work as far as that goes.
Is this module going to be part of the Patreon rewards?
It is going to be part of. Here's the thing. Last time I did this, a charity event was Lost Dog, and I made it part of the charity rewards. I hated that. I hated that for a reason. I felt like people were paying twice for the same module. You guys are paying for the Patreon monthly, and then you're going to get that as a reward, and I'm asking you to donate. That's whack. So what I decided to do is, this is being held during a non-patron reward month.
Got it.
That way, everybody gets their modules that they on either side of it, and they're getting they can do whatever they want to with the. If you feel like
I was gonna
buy the module or not, then that's fine.
What I was going to suggest is, if interior art is one of the bottlenecks for the capital cost, I know that I would just buy the module in advance, and at least that would put a little more money on the table.
Yeah.
When is that supposed to be issued then?
It'll be it's a September release.
Okay.
Is when it'll come out for everything. One other thing that's a bottleneck right now is, I don't know if anybody knows this. This may be just a Castle Entertainment thing, or at least a publisher thing, but we fulfill through a company called Lulu. Okay, and Lulu just recently updated their entire server system, and it is a debacle. I mean, they've got customers, thousands of customers have no ability to access their books. They have no ability to sell their books, whatever. I was
Okay.
affected by that as well, but I was fortunate in that I wasn't trying to order anything anyway. I was just looking at my stuff. I was actually trying to buy a book. I love you, Alan Growy. I was trying to buy something that Alan does because he also goes through Lulu, and I was like, wow, I can't access anything through Lulu. That's how I
Mm.
found out about it. Well, the upshot of all this is I have no idea what I'm dealing with right now when I go ahead and I start trying to get books through Lulu again here. Um, it I'm a little nervous about it because I was very happy with, for the most part, up to maybe about 6 months ago with their service. Now it's a little dicey, so we'll see how that goes. But
Okay.
so while I appreciate the offer, I've got a couple other streams of revenue I can pull in to really up what I want to make this module essentially. I want to give everybody kind of almost a look see of what they can expect with Fireland, even though
Yeah.
Fireland is going to be way, way, way more. Like it's going to have color internals and things like that.
Sure.
I want to give everybody an idea of exactly the kind of force that we can bring to bear when we have the resources to do it. Now that we have the new we have a new technology, we have new. I'm bringing the house on this one. I've
I'm
decided.
sorry. Did you say loaded for bear?
I did say loaded for bear. and also we I am in talks right now. We haven't solidified anything because he needs to know a little more about the scope of what I want from him. But I'm actually going to try and pull Alan in to do the editing on this.
Cool.
I usually don't hire a professional editor, and that's much to my chagrin. It's something that I've always wanted to do for Castle Entertainment. Again, we do baby steps here at Castle. We're an up and coming company. We're new. I have to do things incrementally. I can't just make step changes without knowing that the money is not only going to be there for this project, but you have to understand something. I'm cognizant of this. For those of you who have read comic books or read comic books, you guys know very well what it's like when you get a really cool artist on a book and then they go back to the whack artist the next month.
Yeah,
like,
it ruins the book.
Exactly. If you make a change to improve the product, you cannot take a step back. So once we start something like that, I need to know that we can continue to do it and we can make the numbers work. So and also, if I were to hire Dan for the internal covers, which I'm for the internal art, I have to make sure that I am not hiring some jabroni to do the internal art for the remainder of my modules who is going to bring low quality to it. Where you guys are going to be like, oh man, where you're reading this module and all you can think of when you're reading the module is, I wish Dan Govar were doing this. I don't want it to be like that because I want you to be able to pay attention to the module, the storyline, enjoy the art and stuff like that, not what it doesn't do well.
Sure.
So yeah, that's a little bit of a look behind the scenes of our publishing arm of what we do. I really prefer to. We got to take steps forward. We can't take steps back. But when we take those steps forward, I have to make sure they're sustainable. In any case, those are Carlos' first world problems, and that has absolutely nothing to do with my inimitable players over here. Are you guys ready to go do some first betrayal?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. When we last left our intrepid heroes, David and Matthew, Ariana and Brixton, were on the Retikian coast along the Solar Ocean, trying to think of a way that they could safely descend into the depths of the blue Solnor and yet survive the experience to enter Mirathason, the drowned dwarven city. They had been accompanied at that point by Melina, who is a sword saint, a member of the Tenebrous Hand, who is been accompanying them in a way to reach Patrick's character Agrias. And they were also accompanied by Sonny, who is Brixton's apprentice. Oh, and they were also accompanied by Tobias, who is Ariana's animal companion, who was a Wolverine. Meanwhile, Rainmar and Agrias had been the entire time up at the Procan's Eyes headquarters that they had helped build on the coast of Radek while the plans were being made to explore the Solar Ocean. They had decided that they found out the existence of a tower to the north, and they wanted to investigate it. As it should turn out, the tower was inhabited by a renegade member of Patrick's order, who called herself the Prismatic Chrysanthemum. All of the members of Patrick's order, the masters, are named after flowers. At least their titles are. He found out her name was Alta Teresa. She was a renegade. He found out that she studied the art in an entirely different manner than the rest of the order did. And the whole group began to train with her. That whole group was Rainmar, Agrias, Lily, the other apprentice to Brixton, who's been hanging out with Agrias quite a bit, Rainmar's warg cub, Monty, and 3 monks of Rainmar's acquaintance, Sister Aramina, Kazarak, and Jonas, who are Brother Jonas, who have come from somewhere in the Central Flanness to assist them in their different adventures. Well, they ended up going back to to Procan's Eye after initial training, and they found out that Lily and Melina and Tobias were there. They had apparently been sent back from Matthew and David's position to try and get aid for them down south, because they realized they bitten off a little more than they could chew and wanted some help.
What gave it away?
Brixton's presence in the scenario is what gave it away.
Ah, got it. Thank you.
So anyway, what happened next was that Agrias, who is the leader of the group, made the decision at that point in time to send a large contingent of their group down the coast, along with Captain Detarndress, who is the captain of the ship that is helping them, which is the Nerid Shaw. They are going down south to help David and Matthew. However, with that group is not Melina or Sonny. What they did was they accompanied Jeremy and Patrick back to the tower to train more and to finish up some loose ends with Alta Teresa / the Prismatic Chrysanthemum. Patrick was able to learn yet more mysteries of the art, particularly in the unique way that Alta Teresa practices it, giving him very unusual and probably to most people terrifying abilities, while Rainmar learned much in the way of lore and craftsmanship. And Sonny and Lily practiced their thieving arts along with the monks. In the meantime, Patrick and Agrias and Raymar afterwards decided, I think it's a good idea. They learned while in their last visit to the Procan's Eye's headquarters from the lore master who was there with Procan's Eye, whose name is Calissa Intrati, of a magical helm that she was interested, that was nearby, that she wanted to study. Rainmar decided that he wanted to asked Agrias if they could go and see if they could retrieve it. Agrias agreed. In doing so, they came across a battleground in which a bunch of what it looks like orcs and gnolls clashed, along with maybe some human mercenaries that were with them. It seems that the orcs either triumphed or a secondary group of orcs came by to loot the place. There was a big fight after Rainmar managed to ingratiate himself enough to the orcs to lure away a portion of their force, and he ended up fighting them. They were basically taking him away to kill him, and he ended up fighting them and ended up killing them in a glorious frenzy of white pitch explosion. Meanwhile, Agrias and the rest of the group used their stealth, snuck up on the group while everybody else was paying attention to other things, and assassinated numerous orcs. And now basically the tribe has one sole survivor, and that's an orc named Norik, who Rainmar has taken as prisoner, and is working as kind of his man Friday at this point in time. think that's where we left off. Oh yes, one last thing. Agrias and Rainmar and the rest of the group were able to take all the treasure from from the orcs. They have bundled it up in this gigantic, basically rucksack, and they have not distributed it yet. They really haven't looked at much at what it is. The only thing that they know specifically that's in there is that the chief had superior garb to the rest of them. They gave that to Norik, and there was this earthen pot that was filled with some kind of weird substance that Norik said that the chief warned them against ever opening. It's sealed with wax, so nobody knows what's inside of that yet either. I think that pretty much recaptures everything and where everybody was on the last thing. Correct?
Do believe so.
Thanks, Kaylin. We appreciate it, man. So anyway, here's where we are. I'm going to start with Matthew and David, okay? Because what happens to them is important. First of all, before we go any further, I would like to know what both of you are memorizing for spells for the day.
Oh, what was that? I'm doing about 3 things at once here.
That's okay. If you need a moment, that's fine. I can describe the scene while you guys are thinking about this. The scene is as such. Dawn has risen on the day. The sun is shining in the morning. It's still this ball of fire on the horizon. You can see the hint of the 2 moons in the air. Of course. Of course, Patrick. The hint of the 2 moons in the air is evident. It's a beautiful morning. You can hear the surf on the sonar crashing onto the sand. This air is fresh with a hint of seawater. In the air, circling above, seagulls are diving into the water and looking for either scraps on the beach or they're having their morning supper. Speaking of which, the both of you are a little bit hungry. Sonny and Lily aren't there to cook. They've been serving as your cooks, and you're just noticing now how nice that is to have somebody around to cook for you guys in the morning.
Well, let me break in for just a sec.
Sure.
My ears heard part of it. I thought we were in the Badgers.
Yeah. Forgive me. You guys had made it all the way back to the Badgers. I forgot about that.
Remember, we basically
Even better. The sun is trickling in through the hole at the side of the Badger's den, so you know it's dawn. The Badgers are 2 of the Badgers aren't there. The mother and the father aren't there. You guys are back inside of that compound. The smell in the air is still. In fact, I should tell everybody that's tuning in right now exactly how the denouement of that went. After the group ended up, Matthew and David, after they parted with the others, decided that they would go back up the river to the badger den that they had managed to befriend a family of badgers, and they'd also found a new way in, possibly to the drowned city of Mirathacin, the Dwarven Citadel, which is at the coast of Radek, underneath, far beneath the ground. They had decided to sleep there because it's a nice confined space in which it's relatively safe. And then they entered the confines of Mirathacin. When they did, they were swarmed by a horrible mass of kobolds. But these kobolds didn't look like normal kobolds. They were deformed. There was like growths coming out of them. They were all covered in this weird sheen of slime. Matthew and Ariana and Brixton were so overwhelmed by enemies at that point in time, they had no choice but to. Matthew lobbed white pitch, which is basically white phosphorus, into the midst of the kobolds, and as they fell back, David's character Arion used a signature spell of the priesthood of Alona, which is called Leveling the Bow. And he shot a flaming arrow into the white pitch, igniting it, and blowing these kobolds en masse to hell. But doing so, the backflash of it was so great that both of them were covered in soot, a little bit singed, knocked over, a little bit scraped up. They closed the door back. They they spiked the door, iron spiked the door, and have taken another night to lick their wounds in order to make sure that they're ready to go and adventure again. That's really where we left off. My apologies. So the sun is
No
streaming in through the
problem.
hole in the side of the badger den. Two of the badgers aren't there. You're still hungry. Again, it's kind of a bummer that Sonny and Lily aren't there to cook for you.
I'm used to it.
Matthew, you're kind of wondering where Sonny and Lily are a little bit, kind of wondering what they're doing. Now that they're not with you, there's a little bit of stress in the fact that you promised their aunt you'd take care of them, and you have no idea where they are, what they're doing, if they're safe or not, and you're responsible for them. So that's a big problem. But at the same time, you've trained them a little bit, so maybe you hope they're all right.
Yeah, well,
The deer carcass in the corner of the room is rotting pretty good, and it's pretty stinky. The one that Tobias caught for them. There's just a little bit of meat and fat left in it, and it's starting to get pretty gamey in there. Flies buzzing around it in the badger den. The group of you are. It's morning. What are you guys gonna do?
now I have a quick question. As second level, do I still only get 3 cantrips per day?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, do you want to know what I memorized?
I do. What do you got?
Okay. Well, I'm going to do Mouse, Two Delusion, and Distract
Okay.
for my cantrips. And then I'm going to stick with Color Spray and Enlarge for my first levels. They've worked so well so far.
They're standbys. And Arion, do you have any decisions about your spells?
Yep. Command, cure light, 2 cure lights, and a leveling.
Okay.
And as far as the, you were talking about the non-proficiency stuff, I'm gonna just keep the 2, the animal handling and the Boer Fletcher stuff.
Okay.
I'll leave a third one open for something that might come up later.
Okay, we'll go ahead and
I don't need the Teamster one.
We'll resolve that post game on your character sheet. But okay, that's good.
Okay.
As for the rest of the morning, stomach's grumbling a little bit. Dawn is there. The smell of deer and of burnt cobalt is in the air. Of burning hair and flesh is still in the air. There's still a little bit of smoke inside of the badger den. That scent of smoke. What are you guys gonna do?
The other thing before going, the other thing I wanted to ask you, did I, with the little sheet that I sent you on the PDF or whatever earlier about some of the projects I was working on, how did I get to work? I mean,
The carving.
have I worked?
The carving you got to work out a little bit.
Okay, none of the arrows or anything like that.
Not really, no.
Okay.
It's just been too hectic.
Okay, that's what I figured. I wasn't sure if we had time when we were trying to.
Plus, you guys had to take care of some of your wounds. So
that's true.
Brixton and David, like I said, it's first thing in the morning. The sun is coming through. What do you guys want to do first thing in the morning?
Well, I'm going to eat one of my iron rations. That seems
okay. And David, what about you?
We don't hear any noise coming from down in that area at all.
No,
I'm guessing.
Not a thing. You wonder if there's anything left alive within a couple hundred feet there.
I want to make sure that that's safe. While he's eating some iron rations, I want to take a quick cautious scout down there and see if I can
okay.
see what might or if I can figure anything out.
Brixton, you notice that, well, first of all, iron rations are kind of like trail mix, basically. They're in a little sealed tin, and you're eating it, and you watch David or Arion unspike the door, and he starts to open it up and peek down there. Arion, when you go ahead, you peek down there. I need you to roll me a 20.
5.
Okay. It's very quiet. It's dark. It's actually really dark. Um, to the point where your infravision doesn't seem to want to penetrate. At first, you think it's smoke. You think it's smoke clinging to the ceiling, clinging to everything in there.
Right.
But it's different than that. There's something. It's like the shadows there are really, really cold, to the point that it's spoiling infravision further than maybe about 50 feet down the way.
I didn't open the door that wide open. I'm creaking.
Matthew, make me a 20 as well, please.
Okay.
But while I notice that, I am closing the door quietly so it wouldn't be making noise going. But I'm going to try to spike it closed again.
Okay.
I
Matthew,
note that to him.
Matthew, you're watching Arian work, and you're just eating your trail mix. You kind of look behind yourself a little bit because you notice something odd. The sun. It seems like the sun is dimming, like it's already dawn. I mean, like it's already dusk. It's starting to not come through the hole in the badger den so much. Arian comes back and he's got a little bit of a disturbed look on his face. You see him spike the door back. Go ahead, guys.
How do you look outside of the badger cave?
Arian, you see Matthew look outside the badger cave, and then you see something very, I don't know how to put it besides disturbing. You're looking at the sun, and in the middle of the sun, which is normal, perfect normal, soul is in the air, gleaming and bright. There is a gigantic black wound in the middle of the sun that is starting to spread outward. Like there is a wound in the heart of the sun that shadow is consuming it and eating it all the way from the inside outward.
Not like an eclipse.
Not like an eclipse. Something totally different.
Like some sort of...
And it's actually making the sun not want to shine out so much.
Cool.
I don't know if it's,
Can I talk to the badgers?
Two of the badgers are there. They're the young. Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, okay. I asked them if they still want the deer carcass in the and if they've ever seen the sky like this.
One of them kind of creeps out. The other one starts sniffing at the carcass. Says, "Oh yeah, this will still be good to eat for a while." And the other one comes out and looks at the sky and looks at it and says, "No, that I've never seen it like that before."
Cool.
Arian, you feel something kind of cold behind yourself.
I'm not sure what exactly how to do it, but I'm going to try to contact Alona, and if there's something undead here, I want to try to turn it.
Okay, you're starting to roll me a 20.
14.
Okay, you're starting to pray, and while you don't feel the presence of undead, there is something horrid happening now. You can feel it. You can feel the presence of something unnatural, something from beyond the realm of reality. Something horrible is happening right now.
Can I figure
and
out?
you turn around to look at the door, and the entire door has become dead black. It's like the shadows from the hallway creeped out, and they've consumed it completely.
So it's not encompassed in this thing. It's coming from the hallway.
Yeah, it looked like it.
I tell Brixton, I think we need to get out of the badger den and get the young out of here as well.
He says that, Brixton, and you look down, and the badger is completely dead black. It looks like it's been consumed by shadow. It's looking up at you. It's made completely of darkness with dead black eyes looking up at you with completely empty black eyes.
Do
The
I see that?
flies buzzing around the carcass have all turned dead black. Their sounds, the droning sound, is made this really weird echo. Jeremy,
Am I the only one getting some of that feedback from
No.
Carlos's speaker?
No, I am too.
Okay.
for me, okay,
Yeah.
I think so. I think it might be your receiving volume is coming back through the mic,
okay. Let me try something here then.
but it's not bad, brother. I just wanted you to be aware.
I'm not hearing much of anything.
How's this? Is that better?
Sounds about the same to me.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
we'll play on. I'll give you a message if there's something goofy.
Okay.
Do I see the same thing with the badger young, and they're
You do
the adults
see the
aren't
same
here?
thing with the badger young. It's
So they're not dead. They're just black.
no, they're transformed. And because it's dark inside of this room, it wasn't really apparent right now until now. But looking up, the entire walls around here, it's like there was some kind of goo on the ceiling, like something utterly black, and it's draining down the walls, dripping down it like paint or blood.
If the young are, I'm guessing the adults aren't here.
No,
If the young, I'm guessing they trust enough. I'm gonna grab the young and get them out as much as I can,
okay, you grab the young, and you're running outside.
as best I can run outside through a badger hole.
I touch the. Can I touch the wall?
You touch the wall.
Where
David, what you see, as soon as you see Brixton reach out and touch the wall, he reaches out and touches it. Brixton, you feel something utterly cold for a moment. And then a hand grabs your wrist and jerks you right through the wall, into the insubstantial stuff of the wall. It's a feminine, pale hand, grabs your wrist and jerks you through there. David, what are you going to do?
Do I have a chance to grab a hold of him and pull him
No, it
back?
happened too fast. You've got a handful of badgers.
Piss your pants.
I'm gonna get the badgers out. I don't want anything to happen to them, for one thing.
Okay, you run out of the thing, and you run out of the wall, and what you see is this dark fairyland everywhere. The sun has gone out. The trees are the leaves are falling down. All of them have turned dead black and are falling to the ground like ash. The tree trunks are all black. There's no sound in the air whatsoever. You can hear your heartbeat hammering in your chest. The badgers are looking up at you with these dead eyes. There's this utterly horrific feel in the air. Everything is cold. The light that is coming from this dead sun is this weird unlight that almost takes the soul. It chills you to the bone. What are you going to do? I'll give you a second, Brixton.
In the direction that Brixton disappeared through the wall, would it seem like he might have come out?
It might have been, yeah.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, if he went through this wall, if he did, would he have been out here? Can I see where that could have been?
No, I see what you're saying. No, he would have gone actually into part of the substance of the hill.
Okay. I just take a quick look around, try to figure that out.
Yeah, you're looking around, and everything looks like a photographic negative of itself. You're in this weird, horrid place, this alien landscape that is, it seems like it just wants to leech the life out of you. In fact, you're looking at your body, and you can see the color in your armor and your skin. It's drifting away in these black kind of weird tendrils, like it's disappearing into the air.
So I'm going to be completely nothing because I've got black skin.
Yes, but you're a color of your armor and things.
That's all black too.
Well, here you go. The substance of it is just leeching away.
I don't want to leave the young here.
One of our viewers, Kelfan, just said 2012, like the Aztecs predicted. It's true. So,
I'm gonna try to do is if the Badger Young are willing, I want to try to put them in one of my sacks
mhm,
that I've got to take them with me. Because this is somewhere else.
yes.
I don't want to leave them here.
Okay. So you go
But
ahead and the
I'm going to
Badger
try to
Young are
do
just
that.
staring up at you with these dead looks on their faces. So it's easy to put them in the
Right.
sack. You're putting them
I'm going to
in
go back. I'm going to go back and try to go back to the wall where Brixton got yanked through, and I'm going to go there
Yep.
and try to do the same thing because I need to get to him too.
Okay, Arion, you start to reach over. Are you going to touch the wall?
Yeah, I figured.
Touch the wall.
And I'm going to make sure something that I can attack if something's,
Get your sword ready. Pull it out. And as soon as you pull it out, all of a sudden the floor disappears out from underneath you. You start falling down. Brixton, this is what you and Arion are experiencing right now. You feel yourself ripped through reality itself. You almost feel like your entire body is run through a strainer of some kind. You can almost hear yourself gurgling like you're underwater, like you're drowning in some substance that is it's not solid, it's not liquid, it's not light, it's something different. It's pure shadow. You feel yourself ripped through the non-space of of this shadowy realm of existence. Brixton, you feel yourself you feel like you're turned inside out. Your whole body is just ripped into pieces and just turned into this pure shadow stuff. Arion, the same thing. You feel yourself just torn asunder into shadow, and suddenly, Brixton, you feel yourself emerge on the other side of a wall. Arion, you fall through the floor and you hit something solid. All around you is color again. Brixton, you throw up everywhere on the ground. Your iron rations are just everywhere.
did I land on top of him?
No, you're right next to him. The badgers are rustling around inside of your sack. You smell vomit inside of the sack.
I open the sack up and try if I can't try
it
to.
smells terrible.
Well, yeah, but I want to try to console them at least.
Yes.
Sounds
As
like
you're
date night.
opening that, Brixton, you guys are finding your bearings. You're in a circular area. There's a stone floor beneath you. The air is cold. It's silent. Above you, the walls rise into a great cylinder, and there's a stairway that runs along the outside, spiraling upwards. Near the top is a landing. There's a woman standing at the landing. She's looking down at the two of you. She stands about maybe 5'7". She's this willowy figure. She looks like she might be an albino, except for the fact that she's got bright blue, piercing blue eyes. Got long, straight, white hair, porcelain white skin. It looks like she was just all the color was drained out of her body. Black robes and a sword at the side. Looks down at you. She says, looks down at the two of you. Welcome to my home.
Would have been nice for you to invite us cordially.
I
Looks at the two of you. She says,
and bow.
I apologize if your journey was unpleasant. Such is the way of creatures not meant for the realm of shadow. And as for you, Arion Marquesas, she looks down at you. You were invited by your friend Agrias of the Tenebrous Hand.
So
Formerly
who the hell are you?
currently of the Prismatic Chrysanthemum. She nods. She says, I am Agrias' mistress. I am the Prismatic Chrysanthemum, Alta Teresa.
I don't know that.
That was a double
It's lying through your ass. It's lying through your ass at me.
Looks down at the two of you. Looks at the bag of badgers there that you just spilled out on the ground. She kind of smirks a little bit when she sees the badgers. Unintended consequences, I see. No matter.
Can I make an assumption that this is the tower that was marked on the map?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And she looks at the two of you and says, "You have no business with me, but you do have business to the south of here. Your friends are not far."
If we don't have business with you, why the hell did you bring us here?
"Because I couldn't bring you exactly to where they are. It's not quite such a perfect art," she says.
Why do they need to be where, or we need to be where they are?
She nods. "Because they've requested it, and because Agrias is my student, I saw fit to give him a boon."
I don't know that for beans. Last I know, he didn't have any kind of master other than back home somewhere.
But things change.
Yeah, you're feedbacking again.
I see that. I'm trying to figure out why.
I think it might be through one of us.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's definitely related to received volume.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I've been playing with some volume settings here recently, so maybe that's got to do with it.
Might be the Tenebrous Pran coming through the speakers, guys.
It could be the Tenebrous hand coming through the speakers.
Does that help at all?
Okay, I'm going to go into the other room and hit my brother over the head with a hammer, and when I get back, maybe.
Okay.
I cast Flicker.
You're going to need to.
I'm
So
using
anyway,
that
she says,
forging hammer.
"I wouldn't expect you to trust or believe me," she says, "but you may leave freely nonetheless."
Number one, do we have any kind of proof?
She looks down at you. She says, "Oh, you wish proof." She pauses for a moment, takes a little pouch, and tosses it. You see it descend down through the middle of the tower and land next to you guys. She says, "I would say that's proof.
A pouch?
It's what's in the pouch that matters." A smile.
I take the tip of my sword and sort of try to
Mhm.
tip it open.
It's a bag of devouring. The tip of your sword is gone. No, I'm just kidding. She she
I was using the sword that I'm borrowing from Brixton.
In the pouch is the brooch that Agrias used to wear, which is a black orchid. She looks over at you, and she says, "He no longer wears the black orchid. He now
That
wears
is not
the
any proof.
prismatic
You could have killed them and taken the brooch and tried to trick us here.
I suppose I could have." She doesn't pause. "I suppose that much you'll have to take on good faith."
Are we in the top of the tower?
No, you're at the bottom, on the bottom floor of it. She's on the stairs.
She's on the stairs.
On this floor we're at, where are there exits?
Yes, there's a front door right away, and there's it looks like a stairway goes down as well around the tower.
Is the doorway open?
No, but as soon as you look in that direction, it does swing open, and you see sun starts to shine out through there. A little bit of cold. It feels like a cold wind comes through.
If you want a little bit extra graces on my trust, and since you're somewhat of a seemingly magic casting person, magic user, you want to do something about cleaning up the badgers so they're not as bad off in Brixton, because he's
There's a
full of
small
juice.
smile that she gives, and she says, "Arian Marquesas, you're within my home. I don't need to earn your trust,
Yes, you do.
and I have no more business with you." And she turns around and she walks away up the stairway. You two are in the bottom of this tower with the badgers, with this pouch there. Matthew, with your guts on the floor in front of you. You notice that the vomit was all black versions, shadowy versions of everything you'd eaten, but now it's starting to retain color. Scent is starting to come up from it. It's pretty bad, pretty vile.
You have an Brixton. Do you have an enlarge spell on you again?
Is there a stairway down?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. I did prepare enlarge today.
Okay. I am grabbing the pouch with his brooch.
Scoop up the pouch.
Can I go downstairs?
Sure.
Cool.
Brixton, you start to go downstairs. Ariana is kind of grabs the pouch and is staring back up through the doorway in which she left.
Why are you going down?
Rainmar, I'll start with you. It's the next morning after you or excuse me, you guys wanted to go right away. I take that back. The battle has only just ended. You've interrogated Norik, the orc, to a great degree. What do you guys want to do now?
Snag that helmet.
You start to think about snagging the helmet. Agrias, roll me a 20. Hey, Gitano, good to see you, man. Appreciate you coming back for me. Fistful
3.
of badgers. What'd you get? Okay. You're kind of thinking about this helmet, whatever. Something feels strange to you. Like there's a big, I don't know. Imagine if you were sitting in a pool, okay, a great swimming pool, and all of a sudden there was a large wave somewhere in it. You realize that you feel a huge disturbance in the shadow. The Umbra, there's a major disturbance in it.
Okay.
You kind of get the impression you might have known what just happened, but you're not sure.
Okay.
Rainmar, you know that Agrias something just happened because he's kind of thinking about something. All of a sudden, he gets this really far away look for a second, and then everything's fine.
Alta Teresa?
Most likely, yeah.
The two girls just kind of look at each other. Does that mean that Brixton's back?
No, it does not. Did you make breakfast yet?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's right here. We did the best we could with this goat.
Are you going to bring it to me or you have to walk and get it? God.
Melina smirks a little bit. Oh, sorry. Melina looks over at you. If you felt what I felt, then perhaps a return to the tower is in order before we go for the helm.
No, we need to get the helm first.
She nods.
If what happened, if what I think happened, they're safe.
She nods. The goat comes back. They end up slicing up some goat, bring it back. The only problem is that the orcs really don't have water. They have a lot of grog, and it is horrible in condition. So you guys are going to end up having to drink your own water and wine or whatever you have with you, because it's really inedible or undrinkable. What else is there?
When you say it's horrible, the alcohol content is high?
It's high, and the taste is just disgusting, really.
But we could use it to clean wounds.
You could use it to clean wounds.
Okay.
And that's exactly what you guys are doing with your shoulder. Aramina continues to tend to it, and she looks at you while you're eating Agrias, and Aramina tells you the moon will be full this evening.
Which one?
Celine, she says. Looks over at you, Agrias, and the implication is pretty heavy in the air of what that means.
Do you need to separate yourself from us?
It might be best. She looks over at you, Rainmar. She says, unless you have another idea.
Well, sister, I would have witnessed this change before with her. Now, I'm going to suggest that it's not so much a concern for me, but that maybe it would be for the others who are unfamiliar with it.
I'm thinking she looks over at Sunny and Lily. And she says, I have dedicated myself to the study and the mastery of the Mistress of Perfection in order to instill within myself discipline, yet I must confess my control is not quite what it should be.
It's relative to the moon,
She nods.
the control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can't promise you that I won't fall prey to my baser natures. She looks down over at Monty, who is tearing into a big piece of goat right now.
How far are we? Can I ask Norik, how far are we from where the helm is probably stored?
Well, you were probably just there yesterday, he says. Or earlier today, I should say, with the group that tried to kill you. That cairn, the hole that's at the bottom of it, it's where my brother said that it was held.
Sister, if you are destined to change tonight and maybe have limited control, what do you think about taking the spirit of Zanye with you ahead into the cairn?
And I should try and recover the helm myself?
No. I was going to suggest that you just go ahead of us, and in the event that there's any danger, at least you'd be ready.
She thinks about it. She looks over to Grias. She says, do you think this wise?
I do.
In that case, that's what I'll do. She looks over at her two brothers and she nods.
So when the change is upon her, we give her space. We give her lead time.
She says, may the Mistress of Balance be with both of you. They both nod. I'll begin to pack, and I will make my way immediately.
How far ahead do you think you need to be?
A few hours. She says, despite the fact that I'll be underground and the moon's light won't touch me, it doesn't matter. It's worse
Understood.
when the moon's light touches me. I lose more of who I am, but yes, I can't make any promises.
Understood.
So she ends up starting to pack. Norik looks over at you, Rainmar, and says, I just got here, and I don't know quite what's going on, so maybe you could tell me what you're talking about with that one.
Absolutely, brother. We, Sister Automina is cursed with lycanthropy.
It's bad. He kind of pauses for a second. Oh, yes. He nods.
You're
It's best
familiar
that
with.
she's not with us.
Do
He
you?
chuckles to himself. Snorts a little bit. I've seen what it can do.
Are you rested enough to begin our journey for the helm?
I'm fine. He says, he looks at you, he says, I pledge to do as you say. I'll do what you say.
Well, ready yourself, your armor, and your weapons. Any provisions you need.
Agrias Molina comes over to you and says, what will we do if we run into Sister Aramina and she's out of control?
As she's asking me this, I found an extra water skin, and I'm just pouring a bunch of grog so I can shove it in Brixton's face later. I will.
Okay.
And I just say, we'll follow Rangmar's lead as well as the monks with should that happen.
We may not have time. They move very swiftly. They're very difficult to hurt. We should have an idea of what we want to do if they can't communicate with us.
We'll cast sleep.
I hope that's good enough, she says. Meanwhile, back at the tower, Brixton and Arion.
Yes.
Brixton, you were going down the stairway while Arion was standing up, seething, actually, looking at
Pretty
that
much.
doorway.
Well, I'm going to go and follow Brixton because I'm not going to split this party up anymore.
Okay, Arion, you go and you follow Brixton.
Yeah, people die that way.
I also asked him, I hope you know what you're doing.
Brixton, you begin to go downstairs.
I am very cautious and watching all around, by the way.
The stairway spirals downward. And you go downward probably about... You feel like it descends about 200 feet. And there is a door. It ends in a doorway there. The doorway is looks like it's made out of volcanic glass.
Kind of, it was same kind of doorway though, like we saw to get into Mirror 3.
This is actually solid. It is actually tangible. It's got a knob on it, the whole 9 yards.
All right.
Well, I mean this is an obsidian door.
Yes.
Is it locked?
Doesn't look like it.
Can I check it quick for traps?
Of course you can. Make me a percentage die roll.
67.
Doesn't seem to be trapped to you.
I knock on it.
You knock on it. You hear. Make me a 6-sided.
1.
Arion, you hear, and so does Brixton, the ruffling of what sounds like feathers behind the door for a second. Like something was startled.
I still have I'm going to be... No, we never really clarify this. I've got the sword that Brixton found.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to be trying out, like I had said, I'm going to try to compare as I know my sword well. I want to try this
You've got
one.
them both in your hands. Then you're kind of just playing around, seeing where the balance is on both of them. What you're discovering is that the sword that he gave you is far lighter than yours. It is, but yet the balance seems pretty good. The balance actually seems more like it's towards the end of the blade. Than your the pointy end of the blade than your sword.
Right.
Which is weird because it tapers off. It doesn't seem like it should be that way. So either there's a weight inside of the blade, or there's something unusual about it. Brixton,
I'm gonna sheath.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna sheath mine and keep it as.
Okay.
I'm not really conversant at, wielding 2 long swords at once.
Right.
I want to be prepared, but I want to be, I know my old one well enough where if I use this one by itself, I can sort of, get that idea.
Okay, Brixton, are you gonna open the door?
For sure.
You open the door. Immediately you smell flowers, turned earth, fresh air, real heavy nitrogen air. Inside the door is a large area. It's a garden. You look into the room, and somehow there's a roof. There's a ceiling there. It's about 50 feet over your head, but yet the sun is shining inside somehow. You're not sure how, but it is. You see all kinds of different plants growing in there. Everything. There's a lot of pink in the room because a lot of these flowers are chrysanthemums. On further examination, though, as you get closer to them, the light hits them from different angles. They're almost like they're made out of glass or diamond or something because they shift in color.
Kind of like an iridescent.
Yeah, like iridescent, and the There's hummingbirds that are flying around them all. You see a couple birds alighted in different trees and things like that. Um, the badgers in your arms, David, are kind of looking back and forth in your arm while you're holding your sword, are kind of looking back and forth. They're squirming a little bit.
Sort of try to calm them and tell them just stay in the bag and stay calm. Don't unbalance me.
Stay in the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know where we are right now, and I don't want to.
It smells nice.
It does, but I don't trust this area.
And there's a squirrel.
I don't care.
And a chipmunk. Okay, Brixton, you're in this garden.
Can I see this?
Hanging from one of the trees looks like wind chimes. They kind of jingle a little bit in the air.
Can I pick a flower?
Sure, you can.
Well, before I pick it, that's kind of rude, I guess. This isn't my house.
Well, she was rude to bring us here. Pick all you want.
Hey, I didn't. You got to bring those badgers back. You just hold them from
Hey, she can bring the badgers back.
I take it I have no connection with Aurora.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
You realize it is the connection is absolutely gone.
Yeah. I'm going to can I like I'm gonna touch a flower.
Okay, you're reading down. Touch a flower. It feels texture-wise just like a normal flower. Smells like a normal chrysanthemum. Arion, this place is really weird to you as a ranger. It's simultaneously absolutely natural and wholly unnatural at the same time. It's like
I'll put my bets on unnatural.
Yeah, it seems
and
like
unholy.
to you that it is. It seems like. Imagine if you were transported to a continent that you'd never been to before. Like I don't. Have you ever been to Australia?
Nope, I want to eventually.
Okay, and
I want to go to
everything is
Snowy
different
River.
to you in that you've never seen flowers like this, you've never seen plants like this or animals like this, but you know they're natural. It's like that sensation where you're just in this really, really weird place. And it kind of is giving you the creeps a little bit, to tell you the truth.
Starting to? It's been giving me the creeps as soon as that white-haired bitch did this to us.
I can assume that if she can pull us through shadows, she can travel through shadows.
Brixton, make me a 20 side.
Careful what you say about my mistress, Arion.
18.
You have heard of a high-level illusionist spell called Shadow Door before, in which an illusionist can open up a door, travel through the plane of shadow, and emerge in another place. This seems a lot like that to you, is what she did, is cast Shadow Door on you. But usually Shadow Door can only take the illusionist and a couple other people with it. So her mastery of shadow must be incredible.
Cool. Okay. Are there shadows in the garden?
You're looking down, and the way that the sun casts down on there, it's very weird. At first you're thinking it just must be because it's directly overhead, and it's not really casting much shadow. But then you look at the birds. The birds don't cast shadows. The flowers don't cast shadows. You are the only things that cast shadows in this room.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, it is just wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna tell David I want to talk to the mistress and go upstairs.
You want to talk to her?
Yeah.
The look on his face right now is so classic.
If you want to just watch over the bathroom.
You want to talk to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you gonna do, Ariana? You gonna say anything to it?
You can talk. I'm not exactly in speaking terms with her right now because
That's how I figured that.
Okay, Brixton. So you guys are gonna leave the garden?
I'm gonna.
I don't see a rest of our group here. Why do we need to be here?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the garden, but in the dark hallway, I'm gonna say, Altarissa, I have some questions for you.
Your voice just echoes up the tower through there. It's almost like she was never there.
Huh. Okay, well, I'm gonna go upstairs then.
Okay, you go upstairs and you get to that ground floor. The door is still open. The wind is coming through.
Did we see any remnants or hints that the rest of our group has been here?
Make me a percentage die roll, David.
Could I do that as well, or?
Yeah. A 20 for you, though, Brixton.
28.
I got a
What you're looking at is very strange. You're looking at the ground here. Your tracks aren't here. There's dust all over the floor, like nobody has been here in a century.
Okay.
The air is kind of got this ancient feel to it. It's very off-putting, David. And Brixton, what you notice is that it's just something is wrong here again. And that it's almost like you're not in the same place that you were.
I point out if he does, if I'm sort of pointing out to Brixton what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
I'm saying whatever it is, she must be an old wrinkly bitch because this has been a while since she did any kind of upkeep on this place.
Grace. Okay, Brixton. Okay, you continue to go up.
Yeah.
Go up the stairs. You go up, you get up probably about halfway up the stairs, and you hear something for just a half a second. You hear Lily, her voice. She was laughing for a second, and then it's gone.
Did I hear that too, or no?
No, because what you heard is you heard a Grias voice say, what should we do now? And then you heard Altarissa's voice say, follow me.
Where did this come from that I can tell?
Right next to you. Both of you.
But I didn't see anything.
Nothing happened.
And on this way up the stair, there has been no doors or passageways that I would have.
No, there's only that door at the top of the stairway. And you finally reach there. Her footsteps aren't there at all. Her footprints aren't there. The door is there. It's solid obsidian, it looks like. It's almost like as you went, you got the sensation that you're skipping through time with every step you take up the stairs. That somehow time inside of this tower is doing weird things. And you were hearing echoes of the past, maybe? Echoes of the future? Echoes of the present?
Okay.
Finally, you're at the doorway.
I open it.
You open up the doorway. Agrias, the tent flap opens up on one of the orc tents, and you see Brixton's head pop out of it.
Okay.
Agrias is standing there. As soon as he opens the door, Ariane, you smell fresh air. You smell cold
Again?
air, actually. Windy.
Okay.
Your elevation is way higher right now. You can tell than it
Well,
was.
we went up about 400 flights of stairs.
Rainmar is standing there next to this orc wearing this dark armor that looks like it's barbed and has all these spikes run through it. Sunny and Lily look like they're washing up some dishes and plates.
Can I
Um,
scare them?
if you wish, they're not paying attention, and it looks like Melina is practicing a sword style not too far away. Brixton, what are you gonna do?
Um,
Agrias, make me a. Never mind, I take that back. You don't have to do anything. Rainmar, make me a 6, please. You're aware of them instantly, Agrias, because of the displacement of the shadow and because of your all-around sight.
Okay.
Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Rainmar, 6. You're also aware of them. Brixton, you see that Lily and Sonya are blissfully unaware of you. Agrias, what were you gonna do?
can
So I see Brixton. Okay. I'm gonna go, shit, we're under attack, and then throw my dagger at him.
Are you really?
Right near his face, not at him, right near his face.
All right. Roll me a 20.
who?
I rolled a 20.
Well, because you were aiming not at his face,
Yeah.
you put it right next to his face, right on the wall. Lily and Sunny look over at him and shriek when they see him. No, Christ, no, it's Brixton, don't. They go start running over there. Arion, you're hearing all this. You're maybe 5 steps behind him, still walking up these stairs to where
I break into a run with a sword drawn, and
you run out. Raymar, you see all this kerfuffle happen. Brixton and Arion come tearing out of this, or Arion comes tearing out of the tent, and what you see is you're standing in the middle of this orc camp. All your friends are around there. There's a smell of roasted goat in the air. The air is thin. It's cold. It's windy. You look around. You're in the middle of the mountains. Rocks all around you, and you can gaze out into the Retikian countryside from an elevation of probably 1,000 feet and see the ocean in the distance. What will you do, Arion?
well, if I recognize, first off, do I believe this?
Okay. Well, it seems like it.
That's what I'm saying.
You can make me a 20.
I got a 20.
There's too many details, you think,
Okay.
for it not to be true. Rainmar, what are you going to do?
You're on mute, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Rainmar?
So I see Arion and Brixton, and I'm kind of convalescing. I'll just say, hey, welcome back, guys. I'll introduce Norik, but I don't.
Norik actually stands in front of you. When he sees Arion, kind of half pulls out his sword, and then sees the way you guys are all reacting, and kind of looks back at you, Rainmar, like, who is this guy?
I introduced Norik not as a prisoner, but the way I introduce him is kind of like he's a friend, he's a companion.
Rainmar, role play it out with Arion, because he's right. You guys are right there next to each other. Arion's running into a full sprint. Arion, when you see
I've got the sword drawn ready to hack too, but I recognize the people, and since with the 20 roll,
right.
I'm sort of pulling back. But I'm
okay.
After all this has gone on right now, I'm extremely leery about every fucking thing that's going on.
Exactly, I would be too. Brixton, by the way, I need you to make me a 20 before you do anything else.
Hopefully, I didn't run over Brixton when I came through the door.
5.
I hope you did.
You are knocked over, ass over tits, by Lily and Sunny, who run over and hug you and just totally bully you over out of the ground.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't passed through the threshold.
Oh, okay. So you want to do something different?
Am I still in the tower?
Half in the tower, half not.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I stay there for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
It's really weird.
So I make, I welcome Brixton and, I guess I don't see Brixton fully.
Yeah. Lily and Sunny are running over to you, though.
Okay. I welcome Arion back,
Uh-huh.
and I introduce Norik as this is our brother Norik. He's going to be adventuring with us forth to get this helm.
Mark takes his sword and kind of pounds his chest a couple times. Says it's good to meet you. Goes, why do you cover your face?
Not covered right now.
Oh, you have it off? Okay.
Well, yeah. So Brixton and I haven't had it covered for a while since.
Okay. He looks then at you and says, what are you?
Pissed off.
He nods a little bit. Almost like, it looks like almost he's saying like, oh, that's how all of us are. All of us orcs are, so I get it. Molina
And it seems that you were able to
puts her sword down when she sees all of you, and she starts walking over to Arion. She looks over at you, she goes, well met, brother Arion.
My adrenaline's at a little bit high peak right now. It's like, well, apparently the sunless wench there
Sunless wench.
has told a little bit of truth, but she definitely needs a little bit of lessons in cordiality.
She looks over at Agrias, looks back at Arion, she says,
Can I pipe up from the tent?
yeah, you open the tent?
Well, I'm just piping out through the tent.
Okay.
I say I dig her theatrics.
I don't.
Brixton! The girls come over, they're all hugging on you now. Arion, Melina says, I would beg forgiveness on my mistress's behalf. It has been thousands of years since she's seen anyone. Or 5 seconds, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. She looks over at Agrias.
I just laugh.
I just say tough.
You look to be in good stead. She looks you up and down. The girls get on top of you. Brixton? Lily says, looking at you.
Yeah.
Why do you smell like smoke?
Oh, do I have a story?
I just sort of, do I hear this?
Yeah.
Like, right before this all happened, we basically roasted a bunch of kobolds, so I think, and some other shit. So I'm not surprised we smell the smoke and other things.
Norik looks over at you, Raymar, and says, while everybody else is kind of paying attention to everything else, he goes, he looks at you, says, these guys are friends, huh?
They are my allies. Our allies.
Looks at you. Good. He goes, good. He goes, the big one looks tough. The little one, not so much, but the big one looks tough.
Well, don't underestimate.
No idea.
Don't underestimate the little one.
No, I wouldn't. He goes, those two little ones killed my brother, so shrugs his shoulders. Says, I suppose you can't underestimate anyone. Do you think we should tell them about what was your word for them?
The were rat?
Yeah, that.
They know.
Oh, okay.
I go ahead and get up and start walking in the direction where we think the helm is, because I'm ready to go.
Okay. He starts walking.
Do I see Tobias anywhere here?
No, you don't see Tobias anywhere, but those badgers are really starting to rumble around inside of that bag.
Who else? Is a druid? I can't remember her name. Is she here?
No, Elena's not there either. Nope, it's what you see is two of the monks, Brother Jonas and Brother Karak. You see this orc that they just introduced you to. You see Rainmar and Agrias. You see Melina, and you see Lily and Sunny.
Is there some decent? I ask the girls. Is there any food for mammals here?
She looks at you and says, I just cooked breakfast. Yeah, if you're hungry. And then Lily looks down.
I can't.
The bag.
No, I get confused. Lily was the one with us, right?
Oh no, Sonny was there.
Sonny was. I can never remember. They're twins. They look alike. Anyway,
They do.
All gnomes look alike to me. Anyhow,
Oh, Brixton, how dare he?
uh, I hand the sack of badgers over to Sonny and says, "You recognize these badgers?
She
They got
opens it
ripped
up.
out."
She goes, "Oh wow!" She goes, "You brought the Badgers." With their mom
No,
and dad.
I brought them because somebody ripped us out of their den very drastically, and I was trying to save them because I wasn't sure where the hell we were at.
Melina
And
looks over at you.
somebody did not. Somebody needs to make up for it and bring them back to their family, and I'm not going to be pleased until they do.
Agrias, Melina looks over at you. She goes, "I don't have that. I haven't walked that path yet."
Nor I. Tried twice. So I'm surprised I'm still here.
She nods. She goes, "Arion, as soon as we see the mistress again, I'll certainly see what we can do about that." But she looks up at Rainmar, who's walking up the path with the orc. She goes, "We're going to lose our other companion if we don't follow."
And Monty as well.
Mhm.
What's my health total? Am I 11 still?
Yeah, you're 11 right now.
Okay.
And Arion, Melina quickly catches you up on the current standard right now with the group, which is what I told you at the beginning of the mission about how they got in the fight with the orcs. He got injured. They were on a quest for a helmet of some kind, and it's up that path.
As Rainmar, Rainmar is the only one here hurt.
Yes. Rainmar.
As he's walking,
Melina
do
is
you
sure
need
to impress upon you that Rainmar actually took an injury for the whole group. If it wasn't for his bravery, we probably all would have been injured right now. Agrias, something that you notice.
As he's walking past me, I reach out and touch him and ask him, "Do you need any kind of healing?"
Yeah, before you go, Rainmar.
Are you? Well, that would be good. I'd also like to get everybody going, moving toward this helm so we can get back to camp.
Looks
Okay.
exchanged.
I'll cast a cure light on him as he's walking past.
Give me a D8, David.
7.
8 points of healing, Rainmar. So you should be almost at your maximum at this point, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Rainmar, what you see is this. Arion puts his hand over there and on your shoulder. He looks at the wound. You see him reach out with his hand almost out of the air. He picks out this little glowing silver mote. It looks like a unicorn horn, and it's attached to this strand of starlight. And he begins to stitch through there, bringing the wound together and closing it up. You see him pat over the area, and where he pats the area, moss grows over top of it. It disappears and turns into flesh.
Fantastic. I want to ask Norik what his preferred fighting style is. Does he do sword and shield, or are the weapons that we took from the chief's den going to be sufficient for him?
He goes, "I use anything that I can hurt someone with."
Well, great. We got another Herrick.
He's a lot smarter than Herrick.
Agrias, that almost wounds you. Herrick's your dude. These guys are all talking crap about all your favorite people today.
It's all right. They all got to sleep sometime.
I don't sleep.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Let's be clear. I'm not.
I'm going to sleep using your corpse as a pillow.
Brixton? Lily
Yeah.
says, I learned so many cool things from Arion while you were gone. Or from Agrias while you were gone.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm really, really good with a sword now.
That's good.
Eric was teaching me, and then Agrias taught me some tricks, and then I learned some from the prismatic chrysanthemum. I wasn't supposed to, but I kind of watched them when they weren't looking, and then it was awesome. I learned so much cool stuff. She's so powerful. She can cast spells with shadows. I think she's almost as powerful as you.
I put my hand on Sonny's shoulder and says, "Where's Tobias?"
Oh, he's back at the camp. We left him with Lynn.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? No, little Sonny looks at her. No, because remember Lynn got on the boat. Oh yeah, they're sailing to you. There's a pause. Yeah. Yeah. They all look at you, Grias.
And I just go, all right, we're all back together. We've,
We're not all back together yet.
high fives. And we're going to go get the helm now. Let's move out.
Okay.
What's with this helm?
Can I go talk to Rainmar?
Sure.
Oh,
I'm gonna catch up to Rainmar.
Okay. Raymar is leading the group. Yeah. Monty is running by him. Monty's got a new trick. Well, first of all, Monty's bigger than you almost now. You don't know how that happened. But Monty, somehow they attached a sword sheath onto her back. So it looks like somebody could just run by her and pick a sword off of her. That's new. Brixton,
Cool.
what are you going to say to her?
I think you'll be interested in the city of Marathracin.
Orc looks
What's
good.
that?
The drowned city of Sea Dwarves.
Okay. This is where you guys were hemmed up there to the south.
Yeah.
I thought that was just an old story, the orc says.
Tell that to the roasted kobolds.
I could go for some roast kobold right now.
If as we're walking, if Brixton can regale me of whatever knowledge he has, I'll just jot it in my book as we go.
Brixton, how thorough are you planning on being?
Oh, very.
Are you mentioning the Smirfneblin?
100%.
Okay.
Petra's my homebrew.
You're telling the whole story then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and if he's telling that, the other, Sonny and Melina can
Yeah,
corroborate
they're
that.
chiming in as well.
But
While they're there, I'm also in process of traveling to this helm wherever we're going or whatever. I pull out the little sack that I've got of that kobold goo and said, "You recognize any of this crap? This is what they weren't regular kobolds either. Does this look familiar?"
Yeah. You show them the picture that you drew of the kobolds. These kobolds look deformed, like something has changed them somehow.
I've also got some of that goo that I scraped off.
Oh yeah, the goo too. Yeah.
That's what I'm showing them.
Oh, you're showing them
that yeah.
No, I don't think either one of them would have seen it before.
Okay. Never know.
Yep, you never know. The party is walking up the path now, up into the mountains. The day is it's starting to go towards dusk now. There's a leaden body of clouds in the air. Such is the conditions that there's a little bit of precipitation that's immediately turning into crystal in the air. It is blowing wildly around you. The wind is very, very cold. You're not really dressed for this, per se, but fortunately you don't have very far to go. Before long, you end up in the area that Rainmar had been at before. You pass through this area where the rocks are all scorched black. There's the scent of... You guys recognize it by now. Someone has let off white pitch here. A lot of it. In the air.
You guys are near us?
You smell... you see these burnt, blackened, and burned corpses everywhere on the ground. As you get closer, the crows all disperse from the carrion birds disperse off the bodies. Um, there's footprints in the crystalline frost area. Sister Aramina clearly has passed through here. Um,
Oh,
one of the monks.
okay.
And actually, yeah, you've never met her. I take that back.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
we
you
went.
haven't met
We
her
went.
or the other monks. In fact,
No,
as you
I've
go
also.
further, the other monks would have introduced themselves to you, Arion. And the other monks, one of them is a gigantic dude. He's almost 7 foot tall and really broad. And he has his hood kind of way down, and as he gets closer, he just looks like he remembers himself. He pulls it back. He's a knoll. He kind of nods at you.
Not
And
back.
the other guy with him is a younger, shorter, small, normal Iredian-looking human, and they introduce themselves as Brother Kazrak and Brother Jonas, and they're there with. They came at Raymar's behest. Yes, Jeremy.
So we're passing right where I got shot.
Yes.
I'm just going to have Norek real quickly loot the bodies, whatever's available that didn't get destroyed.
He looks and he nods. He loots the bodies very quickly, and there's really nothing of consequence to gather from them.
No problem.
Arion?
Are there any straight arrow shafts or anything I could
No,
use?
however, there are about
Projects and
6 or
stuff?
7 broken arrows of orcish make all around a rock that is about ahead, maybe 50 feet ahead.
A rock?
Yeah, there's a big outcropping of rock, and
Oh,
behind
okay.
that you can see a gigantic pile of rocks behind that.
Okay.
Molina informs you that this is where Rainmar hid. This is where he hid for cover when he confronted the other orcs.
Okay. I'm gathering as much as I could possibly use for different projects.
Yeah, you start to pick up. You think that a couple of them might be worthwhile keeping because Rainmar uses these orcish arrows, the same kind. It might be good for parts for him.
Right.
Okay, so you're collecting them on your way. And ahead, as you get around this rock, there's a massive pile of rocks. This is cairn. And there's kind of a hole at the base of it that looks like you can walk downward into. Footsteps go into this cairn.
What do they look like?
It's clearly Sister Aramina's footprints, guys.
Okay.
The whole party kind of stops there at the front of it, and Melina looks at you, Agrias, and she says, "What's the plan?" Norik looks at you, Rainmar.
Agrias.
Can we
Then
tell
he looks at
how?
Agrias.
Can we tell how deep it goes with infravision?
No, but you can tell that it goes at least 30 feet ahead and before it disappears into shadow. The problem is it's really, really cold down there. So everything looks the same by infravision.
Got it. Okay.
You can light a pitch off in there.
Nah, I don't want to risk hitting her.
Throw a torch down.
I see the great Mike Bridges is with us tonight. Hey, Mike, good to see you, brother.
Hey, Mike, how you living, man?
Anyway, go ahead. Keep going, guys.
We just need a marching order. That's it.
Agrias, what do you want to do? Who's going first?
Lily, Sunny, and Brixton.
Lily looks over at you, Brixton. She goes, I'm really good at hiding in shadows now.
That's good.
Jesus
Me
Christ.
too, son, he says. She looks over at her sister.
I want to have Monty stay behind me and Norik.
Okay, and then Melina will stay with you, and then I'm in the back with Arion.
Okay. Arion, yeah, the whole area is, you feel much more at home here than before. With the weirdness of the shadows and the garden, this is very natural. So you're feeling a lot more
Well, this is more out in the open. That was in a building.
Yeah, this is way more. Well, even looking at the cairn, this is all clearly stone,
Right.
frost. I mean, you can take this is natural to you, and so it's a
Right.
little bit more.
There is nothing that I can see in from where we've been walking. I haven't seen any
Nah,
structure
just
building.
every once in a while you might see some animal tracks, like you saw what you think was a lynx at one point in
Right.
time, maybe.
But I'm saying there's no structure. We don't see this tower that we got
Oh,
yanked.
looking down back at the tower, you're looking down in that direction, and it is there, but it's really hard. It's in the distance. You've actually gone a really long way from it.
Well, how far away do I gauge?
You're guessing maybe a day and a half.
Oh, so I can't shoot a bow and blow it up.
No. No.
Okay.
Oh, Agrias, you've created a monster. So anyway, the party goes and descends downward. Brixton, you're at the lead. How you want to play this?
I want. How big's the tunnel?
The tunnel looks like it's about 10 feet wide. It goes downstairs. The stairs are of slate. It looks like they're not evenly made. They're all irregular. They go down probably about 30 feet into darkness. The ceiling is about 10 foot tall here.
Okay, I'm gonna get Sunny and Lily on the right and left walls, checking for secret doors, traps, noticing that kind of thing, and I'm gonna be in the center, 5 feet ahead of them, doing kind of just gauging the whole tunnel, and trying to teach them as much thievery stuff as I can.
Brixton, actually, what you're finding out is they're actually have learned a lot. Lily's learned a lot. She's does things a little different though than you would have ever done them before. It's like she's got a different style entirely now.
Yeah.
She
Which
must
I
have
want to
learned
talk to
from
her about
monks,
that.
you figure, or something, because the way that she walks a lot like the monks do now. I found something. Sonny says, I found something right here. It's along the wall. It's like something's written on the wall.
What can we make it out?
Yeah, she's. You get closer. You scrape off some frost. It's written in a language that you don't understand. It's all these weird symbols that's on the wall.
Am I able to tell what they are?
Rainmar, no. This is a language that you've never seen either. What you can tell is that the style of it, just the way it's been done, the way the language seems to have been written, it's pretty old, and it's not, the culture is different than it's a different culture entirely.
That would mean that it's not Sul or Iridian.
No, it's definitely not Sul. Definitely not Iridian. Definitely not Flan. Something
Is
different.
it? Well, it would have exploded already if it was a
Explosive
rune.
runes, right?
Yeah. Is it a? What's the verse? Is it? What's the phraseology like? Is it written the way that a poem might be, or
No, it's written more like like say the Edda was, where it's in non-rhyme poetry. It looks like
okay?
non-rhyming, non-recursive poetry.
Verses are left to right, right to left, up and down.
Right to left, or left to right. Excuse me, left to right, up and down.
So similar to common.
Yeah, similar to common. It's just the culture is different. The characters are different. They're like nothing you've ever seen. A lot of linear characters, straight up and down.
Runic?
No, no, definitely symbolic.
Okay. Is its placement on the wall suggestive of a warning or of an like an indicator on a path?
It's suggestive of almost like something like, it could be a warning, it could be a welcome sign, it could be a lot of different things.
Okay, but it's basically the first thing that you're going to read when you enter this cairn is
yes, it is the first thing you're going to read. Its placement suggests to you that it might be religious in nature, or it might be a relation to who is here, who is buried here.
Okay, I'm going to keep moving forward.
Okay, Brixton, are
Do
you going
I?
to continue forward? No traps so far, no secret doors. You continue forward. How far are you going to go before you stop?
Until there's something to stop.
Okay.
Uh,
You see no secret doors. You see no kind of traps. What you do see is on the sides of the wall, growing out of the wall, are these sconces, like the kind you would put torches in, except there's pots on them. And in every one of the pot are these old withered flowers. They're all dead. Long dead.
As,
Yeah,
as
go
I
ahead,
pass,
David.
as we pass that door, I'm seeing Rainmar, and I'm looking at the road. Do I recognize anything from anything that I might have seen in 43 years of
Make
past?
me a perception check.
12.
No. No, nothing.
Okay.
It's it's nothing like anything you've ever seen.
Can I? Excuse me. Can I take a rubbing of the?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take a
You can
rubbing
a
of.
rubbing of it.
Okay,
They're
thank
deep
you.
enough.
Yeah.
It's whoever chiseled this knew their way around stone. That much is evident because everything is at really nice, precise angles. Everything is very precise.
Well, the only language that Dwarvish.
Yeah,
Can
but
I?
it's clearly not dwarven.
Okay, thank you. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys continue down the way. About maybe 100 feet down, and when I mean down, I mean down. The pathway extends probably about 300. It flattens out at last. It levels out into a corridor. Actually, not into a corridor, but into an empty space. Brixton, how deeply are you going to investigate the empty space? The footsteps continue on, by the way.
There's still footsteps in front of us.
Yeah, there's still footsteps ahead of you.
Do I hear anything?
No.
And I can't see anything.
No. No, not unless you use conventional vision, which means light.
Is there anything coming from behind?
Arion, you're listening behind you. You look up, listen, you hear some birds, but that's about it.
Don't see anything.
Nah, it sounds like crows. They may have come back for the bodies.
Okay.
Hey, can I roll for hidden door?
Yeah, of course you can. Go ahead.
What is it?
6-sider, please, for you.
4.
Okay, nothing.
Okay.
Agrias, you're with Melina right now, and she looks at you and she says, I've been in the library for a very long time at the garden, and I've never seen anything like those rooms before. That's very unusual because I'm only mentioning this because I've seen examples of just about every kind of writing on Earth. This is like nothing I've ever seen before.
Okay.
The monks who are also with you look at the two of you. Says we've never seen anything like this before either. It's certainly not Nolish, Karak says, and Jonas says that it's not anything from our order. It's unusual, highly unusual.
Maybe the helm will help us read it.
The orc looks at you, Rainmar, says, your guy up front and the two girls, he's pretty exposed over there to missile fire. That how we want to play this?
Who's this?
The orc.
Oh, Norik. Oh, that's a Grias's call. What would you do differently?
Nothing necessarily. I just want to know if he was expendable or not.
Oh, Brixton's for sure expendable.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay. He nods.
And
I'm still trying to find out the way this tribe works.
I'm only gonna speak to Norik in Orcish.
Mm-hmm. He says,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find the way that this tribe works.
Well,
Who's-
you're the chief of any orcs we come across, and you're my brother, and Agrias is the leader of the group.
He nods. He says,
The
yes.
person-
He says, but we now have 2 new people. I want to know how they fit.
Well, all gnomes are pretty much expendable. They're just food, really.
He nods.
And Arion is indispensable to our group.
He nods.
Yes, I am.
He nods a few
In
times.
Nola, in Orcish.
He looks back.
Don't underestimate the little one with the funny hat.
He says,
He doesn't have a hat anymore.
He
I-
says,
Oh,
"You're mountain." He goes, "You're from the mountains." Back to Arion.
Nope.
You
Sort
speak
of.
Orc like a mountainer.
Been around.
He nods.
A lot of works around in the
Brixton,
area.
you continue into the open area. It's about maybe the only way, unless you guys want to light a torch, that you can tell its dimensions is if you explore its perimeter. Is that what you want to do?
I want to explore the perimeter around the opening, but I want to wait to Agrias to find out if we should light a torch.
Agrias?
No.
Okay.
Brixton, you continue to explore around the perimeter. And as you do, it's clear to you that Sister Aramina did the same thing because her footprints are going around the perimeter. The area looks to be about 30 by 50 wide. Up the middle of the entire room, there are columns that support the ceiling. There's a series of 3 columns in a row of 2, which allows like a main promenade down the middle and around the outsides. At the very end of the area, there is what looks to be like a small slab of marble with something atop it. Hard to tell what it is, and there's a hallway that leads 2 of them straight ahead, one on the east part and one on the west part of the south wall.
And is her footprints around the item on top of the pedestal?
It is, but they do not approach any closer than about 3 feet. It looks like she might have had trouble seeing what it was in the darkness, as you would imagine, and she got close enough to see what it was and then left.
Put the gnomes on. Put the thieves on, checking for traps around it.
Okay.
Is this room square or round or what?
What's that?
What shape is this room again?
It's vaguely square. It's just a little bit longer than it is. It's
Okay.
not quite square. It's like a rectangle.
Longer from where we came into where the double passages, or
Correct.
okay.
So, Brixton, you go towards the end of the area. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I got a 14 for my check for traps.
Okay. You walk up there. You do not sense any traps. What you see is a marble pedestal there. There is a bowl, a marble bowl that's there. And inside the marble bowl is looks like it was fruit at one point in time, but is so old it is rotten and gone. It's almost unrecognizable. It's all blackened from age and withered. Behind it, looking down at the bowl, is a statuette that is made out of complete obsidian, volcanic glass. It's looking down and it looks like a king. He's holding a staff. Go ahead, Rainmar.
You said the fruit is. How old are we talking?
Oh, probably decades.
Okay.
Decades.
I'm going to remove the bad fruit from the bowl and put in some iron rations and some a couple of the petals of chrysanthemum that I had from the citadel.
Okay, you do that. Brixton, what are you going to let him do that?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Can I
You see
Does
Raymar
anyone-
go up front and do that.
can I
Yeah.
check around the top of the marble, kind of if the bowl's secure, if it's loose, if it's
Yeah,
built
yeah,
in?
yeah. You're looking at it while he's doing that. Ariane, what do you got?
Does this marble slab, does it look like a sarcophagus or
No,
an
it's
altar
not.
or
It's
something
too
like
small to be
that?
that. Not even a gnome. Well, you could put a halfling in it straight up and down, or a gnome straight up and down, but no.
Okay, so it's more like just a pedestal
Yeah, it's just a
type of thing.
Okay.
Um,
Brixton, it looks
I
like
want to take a look at that obsidian
statuette.
statue. I'm not touching. I just want to scrutinize it.
Okay. Agrias, what are you going to do in the meantime?
I'm gonna try and figure out who the statue is of.
Okay, so you're with Arion. I need both of you to roll me percentage dice. Brixton, you notice that the bowl is not secured. It's not fastened down.
Can I try to slide something under it?
Sure, but I'm going to get with Raymar first. What'd you roll?
53.
And what'd you roll?
12.
Okay. Ariana does not look, or Agrias does not you do not recognize who this king might have been. Arion, you have been around in circulation a lot more than Agrias has, so you know more of the kings of the area. It is certainly not any of the Ratikian rulers. They never had a king. They did have there's no way it could have been any one of them. So your mind immediately goes to the over-kings of the Great Kingdom to the south.
Okay.
But it is none of them clearly. It's not dressed the same, first of all. This guy, whoever it is wearing robes, like a long, like almost like a toga kind of robe. He's got a thin crown around his head. He looks down into the bowl. He's got a beard. The over kings were clean shaven. He's definitely of a different culture.
What do I, as from the background, whatever, do I recognize approximately the dress and everything of this from the coast from down from the hell furnace?
I'll get to that in just a second, because what Raymar does is you see him clean out the bowl, and he starts pouring iron rations in it. And when he pours the iron rations in it, instantly the room changes. You guys almost all start pulling out weapons and start to panic, because all of a sudden light comes into the room. A gentle light comes into the room from the ceiling. It doesn't come from any one part. It seems like a magical glow.
What about when I put the petals of the chrysanthemum in there?
The petals of the chrysanthemum, it's weird because you had them cut, they're a little bit withered, whatever. They seem to grow back to complete health inside of the bowl. The Arion, you and Agrias are looking down at the figure because you were right there looking at it. The king that is looking down into the bowl smiles gently. All of you feel slightly different.
Blessed.
Like you're maybe you feel like maybe something has smiled down upon you from the heavens.
I'm guessing I'm feeling more of a theological type of.
Absolutely, it's definitely a theological thing, and you don't suspect that your goddess would have a problem with it.
I nod my head and smile.
Yeah.
Just to put a little bow on the sacrifice in the bowl, I'll put a little sprig of. I've got a little bit of wolfsbane on me as well. I'm just trying to think of things that I have that can be a blessing.
You put a little bit of wolfsbane in there, and again, the cut end of it seems like it's healthy.
Yeah. Okay. So what is available as far as exits? Where directions to go?
Exits that lead away from there, both to the south and the wall.
And which one? Which one do we see footprints going to?
They go down the left.
I'm going to go to the right.
Okay. Brixton, are you going to follow, or are you going to get ahead of him, or what do you want to do?
I'm gonna take Sunny and Lily and get ahead.
And you can see now. Everything down this hallway is lit with that gentle glow.
Guys, I just need to time out for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Brixton, you can see down there. Agrias, are you going to maintain the same marching order? Okay. Arion, there are no footprints down this way at all. There's nothing at all down here that you can see. At the end of the hallway, which is about maybe 100 feet, there is a stone door that's there. A white stone door. Looks like it's made out of marble. The walls here are all made out of white marble, Arion. Brixton. Brixton, I need you to make me a percentage die.
31.
As you get closer down the hallway, you clearly see there was something here at one point in time. Not long ago. It looks like there's a secret door in the wall on the right-hand side that it looks like it left down that way. You can tell because the wall is disturbed there. Arion, there's no footprints in the hallway, so whatever it was either could fly or it didn't enter the hallway all the way. It was.
Look on the walls and ceiling in case something crawl.
Nah, you don't see anything there at all.
I asked Lily to check the door for traps.
She nods. Feels along it. Feels the seams. Has her thieves' tools out. She's looking real close at it. Looks back at you. Nothing.
Okay, now let your sister try.
Sonny goes down there. Watch how a pro does it. She smiles. She goes, I was trained by the best. Looks over at you, Brixton. She goes, you mean this?
And fails miserably. Oh.
She's sitting there looking. They're both. No, I don't see anything either.
Okay. And for sake of teaching, I'm going to look to make sure that
Okay.
97.
No, you don't see anything either.
All right.
Are you going to try and open it?
Yeah.
Okay. Agrias, are you going to let him open it, or are you going to go towards the one to the end of the hallway?
I'll let him open it.
Okay.
I'm standing back. I've seen this before.
Brixton, you open the door.
Yeah.
Kind of opens up. You smell nothing but age behind this door. It slides open to the side. Kind of more easily than you would have expected. And there are no footprints beyond the door. The hallway extends another 20 feet, turns abruptly to the left.
It's still well lit.
Still well lit.
Anything
And
on
is
the
there any tapestries, any statues, anything in the hallway?
Not yet, no.
I go
Not
20,
yet.
Nope.
Poof! There they are.
I go 20 feet in.
Okay, you go 20 feet in, you see the hallway that leads to the left.
And I just want to peek around the corner.
You peek around the corner, and there is an area about 30 feet square. In the area about 30 feet square, there is a desk there made of old petrified wood. A chair. There's a figure that's sitting at the chair, and he's writing with, looks like a chisel. He's carving something into a slab of stone. Doesn't notice you or anything like that. He is wearing the same kind of garb as the man that was in the the king wore in the statuette.
Yeah, I step out and introduce myself.
Okay. Be careful, Brixton. You hear the girls. You introduce yourself. See the man look up. Man has a kind of a blondish beard. Looks like it's gone silver with age. Kind of thick, curly. He's got thick, curly, blonde hair. Short cut. He wears a garland of laurel in his hair. looks over at you. He's wearing something like a toga, I guess. Pale skin. Looks over at you, just kind of smiles a little bit, kind of a wry smile. Goes back to chiseling.
Do I see this?
Yeah, you see it. The orc looks at you, says, "What's with this guy?"
I'm going to go up and introduce myself a little closer to the desk.
You get a little closer to the desk. As you start walking into the desk,
I'm gonna follow.
the man pauses, puts his tools down. He stands up and he turns over and he looks at you. Rainmar, now that you're a bit closer, you can see that he's completely translucent.
I just go with an admission of my quest that I'm with respect. I'm looking for a helm that I understand was in this area.
He speaks to you in a voice that is not verbal but is in your head. And you can all hear him when he speaks. And he says the following. He says, "You have brought growth, you have brought greenery back into our temple." He says, "You have pleased the gods, and you may do as you please."
I ask him who his people are.
He looks back. He says, we are the lost tribe of, he says, "We are the lost tribe of Agnost." He says, "We came to this place via boats many, many years ago. A great storm washed us to the shores. We were never able to find our home. And so we made our home here in the mountains."
And what is your name?
Smiles. "My name is Dimitros.
Dimitros.
I am the last of our kind. I am here to watch over that which once was.
Well
I can
met,
show
my brother.
you where the object of your quest is.
Please.
You may take it as you wish," he says. "You are the first to have come here without defiling the temple." He says, "There was another one before you."
Who was it?
He says, "A woman, her hair shorn as if she should have worn sackcloth." He says, "She bears a different fate than you, who come in peace."
Which of the gods were worshipped in this place?
He says, "All of our great gods were worshipped in this place." He says,
Am I in this room?
"Yeah."
About this time? What gods are these by chance?
He says, "The gods that we worshipped," he says, "these were Zeus and Athena." He says, "However," he says, "in this place where nothing but death holds sway," he says, "it is Hades and Persephone that holds sway now. And it is she who you have pleased with your gift of rebirth. And by glorifying his wife, so too you have pleased Hades. And so my shade treats with you in peace."
Can I ask you to lead me to the helm so that I can complete my quest and return home?
"Of course. Follow me." He turns around and starts walking. And as he walks, he leaves no footprints through the dust. He looks, he says, "There are many of you, many different faces." He says, "Some bear the faces of those who would have killed us when we arrived." He looks at the orc. He says, "Others," he looks over at you, Arion, and you, Agrias. He says, "Others," he says, "you are but legends to my folk. Others I don't recognize at all." He looks over at Brixton and the gnomes. He says, "We are in a far different place than the one in which I died." He continues to walk down the hallway.
As I try to strike up a little conversation as he's walking, where, which direction from this place are you from?
We came.
Across.
He goes, our folk had great knowledge of the sea, of great knowledge of navigation. He says, we came from the east of here, far to the east of here.
Anywhere near the, what's it? Would I know? See, because Darkrit was, I can't remember, can't pronounce the
Keeps
damn
walking
thing.
down the hallway. Takes a
Dark-
left, or takes a right, and leads you down the hallway. You would have been going on the secret door.
Darkrit Empire.
He
On
looks
the other-
back at you.
on
He
the
says,
front.
that name is not known to me, no.
Okay.
He says, avert your eyes when we open this door. The guardian of this place is another shade, and her stare invites death.
I'll put my hood on,
Mhm.
or mask on for one thing.
He opens
I
the door.
just do as I'm bade.
Uh-huh. He says, Melinos. He says, I come with friends. A voice comes from the darkness. It says, Dimitros, you have no friends. We're all dead now. It says, no. Have you not seen the lights? He says, they glorify the mistress's name. He goes, we will give them what they have come for, and then we will leave them go in peace. So speak I. You walk into the room, and what you see is a woman in the corner of a 30 by 30 room. She's just pulling a cowl over her head, and you see snakes underneath the cowl as she pulls it down. The back of the room, there is another podium, and there is a helmet on there. It looks like an ancient Greek helmet.
He's gonna
Does it
let
have-
me, just a
does-
second. Just a second. He's gonna let me take it with no conflict.
That's what he said.
Okay, I go pick it up.
You pick it up. There is a long white set of like swan feathers that come out of the back of it. Or no, now you look at it, it's great snowy owl feathers.
Okay, and it looks new.
It looks brand new. The woman says, I have kept it as it should have been.
Can I ask you what will happen if I put it on?
He looks at you and he says, only our champions were allowed to don it. I do not know. I was bade protect it. It was my final command, and so I have fulfilled my duty.
I put it into my rucksack, and I ask if they'd be willing to guide us out to the exit,
He nods.
or better yet, can they tell us where Sister Artemina went to?
Oh, the other one I mentioned. Yes, she struggles with another of the guardians of this place as we speak. She did not pay obeisance to the gods, and so now she pays the consequences.
She's very troubled. Is there anything we can do to help her?
He sighs a bit. He says, can you best the Chimera?
I'm willing to try.
He nods. Then you have courage as well as wisdom. Come. May Athena bless your passage.
I turn to him and says, I don't subscribe to that, but Ilona blesses as well. I recognize many different religions.
He nods. He says, it was our belief that the gods were all the same. They just had different names.
Yes.
There was a great empire not far to the west of where our civilization rose. They worshipped our gods too, but they only had different names for them. Perhaps your god is the same. Perhaps your god is Artemis personified, the goddess of the hunt, the goddess of nature.
Sounds could be.
He nods. She's a worthy goddess.
So
Sure, yeah.
Leads
Otherwise,
you down the hallway to the other direction. Yeah, Matthew?
I offer Raymar to carry everything in the bag of holding. because we got all the treasure and everything.
Well, I'm going to keep the helm.
Yeah, that's fine.
By the way,
Just 'cause I'm,
as the I asked Raymar, does the helm have a little name tag stamped on it that says Perseus?
yes, if Brixton can carry some of the loot that we got, that'd be great.
Okay, Brixton, there's a lot of stuff here, and you guys are now all unencumbered for doing so. Brixton, you go ahead and you stow all the gear. Demetrios looks back at you, and he leads you down the hallway to the end of the hallway where there's another door. He says, "Beyond the door you will find the Chimera. Much like myself, it has long since passed, but yet its spirit rages strong. If your friend has wisdom, she will have fled to the secret door within the room to hide from its wrath. However, you who have courage as well as kindness and wisdom, you should know there is a way to hurt it. It says within the room you'll find a shield and a sword, a pair of sandals. It says all of these were left here as a way of managing the beast when it was yet alive. Perhaps if you donned those, you could be. Perhaps you might have a fighting chance against it."
Okay, one of the challenges is that even if we beat the Chimera, we still have Sister Artemina to contend with. So I don't want to put the whole party at risk.
He looks
in
at
that.
you. He says, "What you do with your friend is of your own comes to your own conscience to bear." He says, "I have led you as far as I can lead you. The rest falls to you to do."
And what time is it?
You got to believe it's probably the moon's probably out by now.
So she could have already turned and be
She
fighting
very
the.
well could have already have turned. You hear nothing behind the door.
Can we? How long does she stay in that form? Is it until dawn?
Yes.
I ask the two brothers of Zanye if they suggest that we leave the door closed until dawn.
That all depends. He looks at Jonas says. He says, "Do you think that this thing?" He looks at the door and looks back at you. Has the ability to hurt her?
I ask Demetrios.
We brought this with us from a very, very long way away. It was to serve as our temple's guardian. The reason why we chose it is because of its ferocity and its ability to defend our holy place against anything. I doubt that there is much that could survive its fury.
Okay, so this is the mission then, guys. With Agrias's green light, the mission is going to be to get in there, sequester Sister Artemina, whatever shape she's in the secret room. Can we get Demetrios to tell us a little more about where the secret door is?
Mm-hmm. He says, "At the back of the room, much like the other room that you went into, there is a pedestal at the rear of the room. Atop this is where the special objects are that I mentioned. Behind it is the secret door that leads to the room.
And
this was
shield,
meant for a sentinel to stand there, to stand watch.
The shield, the sword, and the sandals, do they need to be worn together?"
No.
Okay, I'm going in.
Does this creature understand common?
He looks back at you. It speaks the tongue that we speak.
Do I know anything about chimeras as he's named them?
Yeah, you do know a little bit about chimeras, David. And what you know about chimeras is that if actually this is a real chimera, opening that door is going to get you all killed. And if it's a ghostly phantom chimera, it probably is even worse. Brixton?
I fill them in as much as I can.
Yeah, Raymar, he tells you about the chimera. Chimeras have a head of a goat, a head of a lion, and a head of a dragon. They're winged. God only knows what you're going to find in there, but it's going to be horrible. Brixton.
I was just gonna say if I knew the same thing from the circus.
Yeah. You've seen a chimera. Brixton. The room has got to be pretty big. You think to be actually have a chimera in there, a full grown chimera, because they can get as big as you've seen one that's 50 foot long
Yeah.
from tail to
Now,
head.
I asked this our friendly ghost here, Casper, um, if defeating or killing a ghost chimera or whatever, is that something that he would be adverse to, or doesn't it matter to him?
Now that you have taken the helm, he says, I doubt that we will be here come the morn.
Okay.
My quest is, he goes, my stewardship is fulfilled.
should we try to sneak in and take the sword, shield, and sandals, but avoid the fight with the Chimera?
Here's
I
what
wonder
I'm
how you'll do that without rousing its attention when you open the door.
You
Here's
said there's a secret door, right?
They all look at you.
who
You're this
Well,
no.
no, didn't he say there was a secret door that Sister Armina could have hidden?
No,
My
he said that. Yeah, he said there's one in there that she could have hidden in.
Here's my suspicion. Sister Automina is sharper than the average bear here. It's very
Well-
possible that she went in this room on purpose.
Could have been.
So now I'm wondering if maybe we should let that be. I ask him if I return the helm when I'm done studying it, will they return to this place?
I do not know.
Okay, Agrias?
Got some decisions to make, Agrias.
I mean, I'm ready to. I mean, there's enough of us. We could easily scramble and get all three of those things in the room.
She looks at you. Melina says, there's another option. She looks at you, Agrias.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you can flicker in and out of there?
Flicker.
I could give it a shot.
She says, I don't say that lightly. I know the consequences for failure.
Well, yeah, it was pretty detailed.
Brixton, what are you going to do?
Could we get the Medusa to turn the Chimera to stone?
You look. He says, she will not turn against one of our own. Melina tells Arion, she says, we've learned many mysteries of shadow since our parting. Agrias has learned a way to tumble backwards into shadow and appear in a different location than he was previously. It is a very difficult mystery to master. The consequences are to be lost in shadow forever.
Emphasis on forever.
It would surely be a fate worse than death.
Yeah, she might have that problem later.
Lily says, "No way. That's not an option. Then, if it's a risk, I don't think it's an option.
Everything we do from here forth is a risk.
I know, but that's too much.
I have another question for if we're still with the Medusa.
No, you're just with Dimitros in front of the door.
Dimitros. I ask him not to be blasphemous here, but if you and your and whatever he called Medusa's name or whatever, If you are ghosts or incorporeal or whatever, and you're not gonna, and you're long past dead, that's what I'm guessing.
He nods.
Would she be adverse to us taking her head and using it?
There is no more body left to sever.
Well, then I'm just wondering because it said that she wouldn't turn on her own.
Yeah, but
So
what would end up
you
happening is if you killed her and cut her head off, she would just disappear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brixton?
If they're theoretically gone by tomorrow, wouldn't the Chimera be going with them? And would the
Chimera
items?
is bound by a different.
Okay.
It's probably bound by the sword,
He has a
the
different mission.
sandals.
Got it.
Okay, I'm running in the room to get the sword, the shield, and the sandals.
Okay, Rainmar, you're going in.
I'm gonna go right behind him.
I'm
Unless-
flickering.
All right.
Oh,
Here's what
wait.
happens.
Wait. If Patrick's going to flicker, then I'll wait.
Patrick, you're gonna flicker.
I'm gonna flicker.
Oh boy, here we go.
What do you need me to roll, Judge?
Well, here's the thing.
Get the lighter out and flicker your bic.
First roll of 20 son.
High or low?
Whatever.
I don't think you guys realize how serious this is. I could disappear from this game. 9.
You have a 34% chance of success of this happening, of working.
Okay.
Okay? Every single time we flicker, you have a 34% chance of this working. All right? Or excuse me, 24. I'm sorry, only 24. So,
Ouch.
now that you know that, you will have to roll a 24 or lower on percentage dice for every jump you make.
Okay.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, why not?
Oh no.
You see Agrias close his eyes, gets the sword ready, makes a complex motion in the air. The air starts to darken in front of him. Give me your first roll.
9.
Agrias walks into the darkness and disappears. And Melina looks over at you as he disappears, and she says, "If you all have gods, I would pray to them now."
I have been.
Agrias, you disappear. Where are you reappearing?
Wherever I can sense Automina.
You flicker back. You are standing in a 10 by 10 room. It is completely dark. Well, no, I take that back. It's light now. It's got that light. You're in a 10 by 10 room. There's a door ahead of you that's made out of marble.
Yeah.
Sister Aramina is standing there, half scorched, bleeding badly, and she is hunched over in this horrible rat-like form. Her nose is extended out dark. It's twitching. She's got whiskers. Half of them are burned off. Her eyes are beady, and she looks at you snarling angrily. Looks like she's going to leap at you any second, just foam coming out of her mouth. What will you do?
Oh God. I tell her with my hands at my sides, but if I need to draw on her, I'm here to get you out.
Roll me a percentage dice.
Oh shit. A 1.
Are you serious? A
1,
0,
yeah.
1. Okay. She looks at you, snarling. She looks at you and says, "I can't control myself. If we're going to do something, we have to do it now."
Okay, I run up to her
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna try and flicker both of us out.
Roll me a percentage dice.
Oh man.
What?
You wasted your one.
Well, it was either that or fight a were-rat in there. A 10 by 10 room. Pissed off were-rat.
Shit. 43.
You guys are waiting outside the door.
Oh.
And waiting. And waiting. And then you see Melina go a little pale. Closes her eyes. She says, that ripple in the shadow, in the umbra. He's failed. She puts her head down. She looks over at you, Rainmar, and says, and Arion. She's kind of steeling herself and says, I do not believe that we need to worry about Agrias or Sister Aramina any longer.
But that works basically like a mist teleport.
That works more like if Cloak just got trapped on the plane of shadow in the dark dimension. If his cloak went inside out and he's now there.
Basically, he's plane trapped.
He's plane trapped.
Okay.
Get him.
I put my hand on Melina's shoulder and
She looks absolutely crestfallen.
grab hold of my unicorn symbol and do some heavy praying right about there.
She puts her head back on your hand. Lily looks up at you. She goes, we've got to get back to the tower. She goes, maybe Trissa could go to the plane of shadow and get him back. She's the only one that could. She's the only one that she knows all about Shadow, right? He can't be gone forever, right?
I asked Demetrios which of their gods has the domain over Shadow.
That would be Hades.
Then let us pray.
And that is where we will end our session for the evening. Gentlemen, a lot happened. You guys managed to get the helm. You guys managed to learn a lot more about a trapped culture on Earth that I have introduced, the Greek culture onto Earth. It's foreshadowing in a way. You're going to see why I say that in the future.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. And then Agrias. Right now, Agrias, I'm going to decide whether... I think I'm going to role play what happened with you on our next session. I was going to think about writing it offline for you, but I think I'm going to role play it instead because it's pretty horrific, and I think I might be able to convey it a little better in person rather than through the written form.
Okay.
As for the rest of you, the party is united again. That's good.
Oh, we are.
You've gained a lot of experience together. Rainmar especially. Rainmar, you'll probably be ready to go to 3. Or for sure. Or 4, I should say, when we go next. As for the rest of you, as for Agrias, quite frankly, depending on what happens in the next adventure, he's either dead or not. So, we'll find out. A lot depends on how things eventuate.
So his teleport took him into the secret room.
He took him into the secret room. She fought the Chimera. The Chimera had the ability to hurt her. She has the ability to find secret doors, however, very easily, which she did. The only reason she survived is because she was already in were-rat form.
Mm-hmm.
She was down there, and that's also why she wasn't smart enough to handle the situation the way you guys did, is because she was already given over to the lycanthrope. So she went head on with the thing, had to flee, was trapped in there seething, was getting ready to get back at it. Agrias appeared, rolled low enough on his charisma roll, his reaction roll, that he persuaded her, despite the fact he had probably only a 15% chance to do it,
Mhm.
got her peaceful, but then failed the roll, and now they both tumbled into the plane of shadow, where,
And
frankly, their life isn't worth a plugged nickel at this point.
so really the right thing to do was to wait it out until dawn.
The Chimera still would have been there.
Yeah, but she also would have been
She
in.
would have been human and been easier to reason with.
Mhm.
I don't know what the right way to go is, because there really was no good answer. Agrias's way probably saved 4 or 5 people from dying, but at the same time, at the cost of himself and Aramina at this point, which may have been their two most powerful,
Two of our heavy
their
hitters.
party's two most powerful assets. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens on the next episode of the first Betrayal. Guys, hang around for a little bit longer after the game wraps up here. Thanks everybody who out there for watching us. Gaetano, Amanda, I see that some other people are there. A lot of our watchers here had some nice things to say about you guys. I said it's one of our players. So Patrick, what new character would you like? Somebody said, "What a game tonight! Good job, guys. Good night, David, Jeremy, Patrick, and Matthew. Thanks everyone. Have a great night if you can after that." And I'll be signing off now with the rest of the guys. For David Aho, Arion, for Jeremy Brazil, Rainmar, for Matthew Lazinski and Brixton, and maybe for Patrick Open and Agrias.
Well,
Carlos
goodbye, at
Sanchez,
least
our
for
dungeon
sure.
master. Have a good night, everyone.